हेलो एवरीबॉडी। आंख में पानी रखो, होठों पे चिंगारी रखो, जिंदा रहने बहुत सारी तरकीबें रखो। नमस्ते, मरहबा, हेज, bonjour, hola, and a very good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special episode on the journey of a womanpreneur on Women with Wings. Women with Wings is a pioneering concept. This is a platform for every woman. We are sharing the untold stories of our heroes. We're also providing a platform for the hidden talents and the passion of our dear women. We've also started off with a fresh initiative, a training session to enable women to get unstuck in their own lives. My name is Shikha Verma. I come with 18 plus years of experience in the corporate space in OD and L&D with companies like Hero, Wipro, Honda, Yamaha, and Panasonic. My current endeavor is to enable and empower as many women as possible through leadership skills, through mentoring, coaching, since I'm a happiness mindfulness coach myself. Before we begin, I'd really love to start with a short story. The story is about a little boy who lived with his father in a small village, along with his four siblings. His father's earning was meager to fulfill the needs of a family of five. He witnessed a lot of discrimination, a lot of violence when he was little. And around the age of 13, his father saw him almost lose hope. He decided to do something about it. He got a piece of cloth, asked the boy how much he would evaluate it at. He said, $1. He said, okay, I want you to sell this for $2. The boy was hesitant. He nonetheless tried. And guess what? He was able to sell it. The next time, the dad asked him to sell another piece of used cloth at $20. The boy was far more hesitant this time, but his dad said, don't give up without trying. He nonetheless went ahead, washed it, ironed it, printed a cartoon character on it, and he was able to sell it for $20. Father raised the bar. He said, I want you to sell this next piece of used cloth at $200. The boy was not at all surprised. He went head on, used his creativity, actually claimed that piece of cloth to be signed by a popular artist. Obviously, he washed it, cleaned it, ironed it, make it speck and clean, and was able to fetch a lot beyond $200. He went back excited to his father, and his father's like, son, what did you learn? He said, I learned that it's important to have your will. Where there's a will, there is a way. I said, wonderful. It's a little more than that, though. It's about how you increase the value of that $1 cloth to this level. Imagine what humans can do by improving their value and enhancing. Give no reason to anyone to underestimate yourself. Our today's guest is none other than one of the most dynamic women who has actually not just enhanced her value, but also several other people that she's impacting. She's on an exciting journey of inspiring and empowering 6 million professionals by the use of LinkedIn alone. She's an award winning CEO of a marketing and a media agency. She's also an international public speaking awardee in 2019. She comes with 20 years of top management consulting, volunteering, and coaching experience across geographies. Her company has also recently bagged the best business content for social media in 2020. A global thought leader and extremely knowledgeable for sure, inspiring several lives across different regions today. With her expertise in content marketing, in the use of social media, she's also facilitating several leaders on personal branding. She's a gem of a person, and it's my absolute privilege and honor to be in conversation with one of the most dynamic ladies I know and a powerhouse, Divya Shlokam. Put your hands
Thank
together.
you.
Let's welcome her on board with us. Thank you so much, Divya, for joining us today. Thank you so much for taking out this time despite your very busy schedule.
Thank you,
We're so
Shikha. The
excited to
pleasure is
have you
all
today,
mine.
Divya, and I really wanted to Yeah, and we really want to know from you your journey, Divya. It's such an intriguing thing to see the kind of work you're doing today. You're very active, and I hear a lot of accolades on your profile. That when I read it, I was super impressed. So please, if you can share a little about your journey with our viewers, and what are some key learnings that you have with you today that you can bring on table?
All right. Thank you so much, Shikha. So, little bit about my journey. I started my career really early at the age of 18, and I was into job. The best thing about my journey is like I kept getting great mentors. So that's the reason I myself feel that every one of us either needs a coach or a mentor. So early on in my life, I got a lady mentor, and she used to guide me. And then later on, I went on to have my own organization called practicesuccess.com. I was one of the youngest trainers at that point of time when training fraternity used to be like, 50 plus years of age of people. So initially I wasn't accepted, but later on I saw that, people are keen to take young trainers, corporate trainers as well. And that's how I got into management consulting, training, coaching, etc. And it went on to become one of the top, maybe you can say one of the top preferred training companies in India. And we were competing with Hero Mine and NIS Sparta at that time. So that triggered my entrepreneurial journey as well. And I believe early you start better it is, because once women have their own families and get married, etc., then it becomes a little challenging. So at pretty young age, you can actually take more risk, and I mean, it could be a challenging, still beautiful journey for you when you start early. So these were some of the key insights for me.
Very true. And like you said, you were fortunate that the company also, grew alongside. So you had excellent exposure to back you and mentors to look up to. And I think that's the time that we're living in today. We have constantly, got somebody around us who can help us or guide us as women. So it's lovely to hear. What are some of your key learnings through this journey, Divya?
Hmm. So some of the key learnings I would love to tell you through a story, So once there was a saint, he went to a village and he told someone that I am not keen for your learnings, your story. I'm only keen for someone to meet someone who can write his story or his gist of life on just a piece of grain. That is just a piece of rice, just a grain of rice. And when I was reading through this story, this became more enticing. So people came forward. No one could write their entire story on that, grain of rice. One person came and he said, "Well, I don't have a story. I don't have a journey. I have come here to go. So I can't write anything on this grain of rice." You know, that was the one person that saint actually selected and picked. And he said, "You are the one I can talk to." And so I was thinking, if I was to write my entire story or my gist of learnings on that, rice grain, what would I write? I came here to
Right.
go.
I
So then I
to go.
thought, all right, maybe I can write, on a journey to attain liberation. So, but then that also becomes a big sentence. This is what the crux of everyone's life is, whether we are women entrepreneurs or we are women thinking of
Yeah.
having several challenges. But ultimately, what is the crux? The
Mhm.
key takeaway for me was like, all right, we are all coming here to go, and in that coming and going process, if we can create impact, if we can create beautiful memories, I think that's the best thing. So some of us are creating beautiful memories by helping other women. Some of us are creating beautiful memories by creating our own children to be the world's leaders. So each one of us is actually contributing. So my learning was like, all right, just keep contributing, and that's the whole crux of my story.
Awesome. That's such a profound message you've shared, Divya, and so meaningful, really. I think all of us get lost in this muck of life and we're sometimes very, very clueless. And I've seen there are three success mantras today. When you're building your character, you have clarity in your, direction, what is that exactly is your purpose. And you're also consistent in your effort. I think the idea is to just keep swimming. Like there's this dialogue in the movie Nemo. So we just have to keep, even the universe falls in love with a stubborn heart, as you say it. So that's extremely well said. And I also know for a matter of fact that we as women face a lot of ups and downs in our life. We especially need some kind of support system, somebody to, fall back on, or some source of inspiration at least. What has been your source of inspiration, Divya? What keeps you going?
All right. So this question I have been asked several times, what makes you glow? What makes you feel happy? What makes you sail in life? So I think there are two strong factors that have personally played role in my life. I think this would help other women as well. One is the grace factor and another one is the faith factor. So faith
Mhm.
in whom, that inner consciousness, that supreme consciousness that we all have. So I have also gone through some severely damaging times in my life wherein my reputation, my personal being was damaged badly. But that faith
Mhm.
in God, that all right, I'm surrendering on to you. You are the caretaker and you take care of this entire world. You have created universes, so can't you come forward to help me? That faith, I think, has helped me sail through. Second is grace factor. So what is grace? Grace is when you actually surrender onto that super consciousness. Once I was
Mhm.
listening to Oprah Winfrey's interview, and she said that, once you surrender, it's not just about surrender, it's about trusting that universe. It's about trusting that super consciousness that you will be taken care of. So once you start being in gratitude, that grace also starts showering on you. So you have to
Mhm.
consistently practice. So when I was going through the toughest phase of my life in 2015-16, I was also concurrently practicing a lot of affirmations. So
Wow.
without even believing in them, I was continuously doing. So about several years I had done, and in 2017, when I saw the results of those affirmations, I also started my own podcasting, wherein I could help thousands of people in doing affirmations early in the morning. So what I want to highlight here is, for everyone's success there could be several factors, but if you want to get that grace, you have to come into that you have to grab that opportunity of thanking every time universe for the opportunity. Shika, I've also
Mhm.
seen, I think you must have also addressed it in your life, that sometimes when we trust that source completely, we may not get exactly what we wanted. We may get completely different, but that different
True.
is proven to be right after 20 years, maybe 10 years. So you ultimately end up saying, thank you God, that didn't happen which I demanded or commanded or wanted. That
Well
happened which
said.
you made as per divine plans for me. That's what.
That is so beautifully said. Actually, we don't even know what is good for us. So I still remember there were so many leaders who would say, "You when you don't know what's best for you, just pray for the best to happen." And easier said than done. Sometimes our mind starts to trick us, and it kind of the logic tells you, "No, this is not right. This is not how it is supposed to happen." But if you go by your heart and the feelings that you need to rely on your faith, I think grace automatically becomes a part of your life. So it's more to do with devotion, and affirmations are very powerful tool to be used, like you rightly said. So that's a brilliant share again. I also see people, Divya, today struggling a lot to, the term that we are using, self-branding. Okay, they find it very difficult to relate to it, and also I feel they don't know how to go about it. You being a subject matter expert, we really want you to share that with our viewers today as to how they can do self-branding and what is your advice to them.
Interesting. So this depends what is their objective of self branding. So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
my self branding strategy, started with my self expressions. So I was financially free and I wanted to do something better in life. So I started
Mm-hmm.
doing, I was already coaching CEOs. So I thought, all right, I've come back from Canada. So it's a great opportunity for me now to actually start coaching CEOs the way
Mm-hmm.
Western leaders are actually. So what's the basic difference is, Western leaders are, very world facing leaders. Here in India, we have been brought up with the thinking, neki kar kuएं में डाल किसी को मत बता. So let your
Mm-hmm.
work speak. So we all have become very work facing leaders, work facing
Yeah.
coaches, work
Yeah.
facing mentors, work facing entrepreneurs. So what happens in this time, There's
Mhm.
nothing called local. Everything has become so
Yeah.
global. So today, even if you are, let's say, happiness coach, fine, you are
Mm.
giving training to your Indian clients, and you never
Mm.
know when someone stealthily comes to grab your clients from you, right? Maybe someone from UK,
Mm.
someone from Australia. So it is very, very important that you start thinking what is your objective of doing personal branding. Now, what is personal
Yeah.
branding? Let's quickly understand. We all have something called credibility. For example, if Shikha is a coach, let's say she's
Mm.
happiness coach, right? Fine, Shikha may be happiness coach. There may be several other Shikhas or several other happiness coaches around. Whom do I trust more?
True.
So there are several factors at play. One is if Shikha is more visible to me consistently. Do you know it takes about 17 touch points to
Mhm.
100 touch points? This 17
Mhm.
and 100, it has to take that kind of touch points for me to actually completely start relating to Shikha, to start
Mhm.
understanding about her, and to start knowing her to the level that I can now start trusting her to some extent. So if you are not visible, Shikha, let's
Wow.
say on any social media platform or anywhere where I
Mhm.
usually go, let's say I am on WhatsApp. If
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
not visible to me on WhatsApp, maybe I don't know you. You may be the
True.
best happiness coach available in the world, but I don't know because I haven't seen you. So your
Mm.
visibility, your seen is very important. The more you
Mhm.
are visible for right reasons, the more you will tend to become credible. We all have those
Wow.
examples, those doctors, those psychologists, which are
Yeah.
usually seen in magazines, etc., or in the internet. We tend to trust them more because they're usually seen by
True.
us. Those touch points are very important, 17 to 100 touch points. So, in
Wow.
order to first become a personal brand, you will also have to start thinking, am I
Mhm.
being visible to people? So
Yeah.
visibility is very, very important. Visibility builds your credibility. All right. So you would say, does that mean, Divya, shall I start posting my post on, Facebook, giving examples of my business? This is what I am in. Buy my products. No, you can't do that, and you should not do that. What you should be more
Yeah.
visible about is you have to understand people's psychology. People love helping natured people, so you have to be
Yeah.
more visible about how have you been helping others. So some of the
Yeah.
people you might have helped free of cost, some of the people you might have helped as a client, which are paid client. So start
Mm.
giving your case studies, start showing the
Mhm.
human side of you, start doing
Mhm.
these little actions, push yourself up to do these actions. The more you will be visible, the more credibility it will build about you. Start talking about your
Wow.
content. Let's say find out different kinds of happiness researches, right? So if
Mhm.
Shikha
Mhm.
figures out that there was a survey in Uganda wherein people
Mm.
found that if you do this particular thing, you tend to become more happy. Then you ask
Yeah.
people, do you think this is still valid in India as well? So people
Yeah.
start engaging with you. Content is
Wow.
not just the king, it is the kingdom today. So you have to learn few things in order to build your brand. One is visibility, credibility, and desirability, which I mean ultimately desirability is when people start desiring to talk to you. Second is the content. Content is something like which you, me, everyone has to learn. Like we have
Yeah.
learned WhatsApp, we have learned to use Facebook, we should also learn to use content marketing. And it's not a difficult thing. You see, content is of five types. In order to build your
Mm.
personal brand, I'm just quickly telling you. One is video, second is audio, third is text, fourth is image, and fifth is graph. So I
Mhm.
don't trust anyone saying, Divya, मैं तो good नहीं हूँ content में. I'm not good in content. You must be good
Yeah.
in one form of content or other and cash on
In
that
fact,
content. For
just
example,
want to
yeah,
quickly
yeah,
point
yeah,
out one thing, Divya. Sorry to cut you, but there are a lot of people
yeah,
today
yeah,
I've interacted. They are immensely talented and they're very
yeah,
good with content, but somehow they don't feel the need to market it. So while you're
true.
emphasizing on the various modes, I also want you to throw some light on how can we encourage them to understand why marketing of content is important today.
Yeah. So when we say content marketing,
So if you
first
can
of all,
share
we
that
have to
too.
understand. Yeah. So we have to understand what is content marketing. I'm not asking you to market yourself. I'm asking you to
Mhm.
use content marketing. So content
Yeah.
marketing is that subtle approach wherein you focus a content communication. You create a content being focused on your target audience. For example, if Shika hypothetically is a happiness coach, so who would be her target audience? Her target audience would be, someone who's not that happy in life and needs happiness, right? So if you target your content around that need, that are you suffering from abusive relationships, are you suffering from lack of great job opportunities, are you suffering from failures in business, therefore you're not happy? All right, research proves this, doing these three steps, or sometimes you just talk about a story, sometimes you just give straightforward tips, etc. So when you position, not by telling people that, look, I am the happiness coach, hire me, but when you start positioning yourself completely with a content that's meaningful for people, that adds value, that is called content marketing. So content marketing is not a marketing per se. It is positioning your content so effectively that your target audience learns more about your capabilities.
I
It's
think
a
you
big
rightly
step.
said it.
Yeah.
It's very strategic in nature. It's not something जहाँ पे आप I think mostly लोग क्या सोचते हैं कि हम अपने आप को बेच रहे हैं. When you talk about self branding or you talk about content marketing, I'm sure you would have experienced it. People start viewing this कि जैसे हमें अपने आप को बेचना है, अपना justification करना है कि हम बहुत अच्छे हैं. तो वो नहीं है perspective, and you rightly clarified this, that it's about understanding the concept of content marketing. You're not marketing yourself. You're actually making your content relevant, visible, and desirable. By building these, your credibility also enhances. People will approach you, and that's extremely well kept, in terms of the context, because ये बहुत बड़ा bottleneck है for women today. Despite all their talent, despite all their skills, especially in content or their area of expertise, एक ये self branding वो नहीं करना चाहते हैं, या they don't understand how to go about it. And at the same time, we find it challenging to understand this strategy of content marketing per se. And you being the best guide today, I think. So all mediums, how do they work? If you can add a little more on how these mediums work, which one's more used, relevant globally, so to say?
All right. Yeah, interesting. So, just to continue with what we left the conversations on content marketing, I would quickly want to tell you that when we say content marketing, before even branding, you have to start thinking from content marketing viewpoint. Only then your brand will be built up, right? So, let's say, for example, if you're a happiness coach, right? Hypothetically, so you pick out, all right, who's my target audience? Am I working for the corporate world, people who have loads of money but have loads of issues and problems and depression as well? Or am I working for I'm wanting to contribute for the fresh mommies, young mommies, just newly born mommies who are born with their kids as well. So I want to remove their depression, I want to bring happiness to them rather than they being fussy about giving birth to baby. Who is my target audience? So you will have to figure out where is your target audience more active. For example, when I started my personal brand building thing, it was new in India. Very few people were doing. So I knew that CEOs here in India or CXOs here in India have that fear and apprehension. What will others think if we come and start sharing our content? So I only targeted them. I created posts, I created communities, I created content, magazines, etc., videos, LinkedIn Live, everything just around them. I was least bothered to get more views or get more likes. Even if let's say out of those 30,000 connections that I have, and I've got 15,000 global leaders, out of those 15,000 global leaders, even if 15 people read my content and they can relate to it, my job is done. Let me give you a quick example. You have asked for a platform. So in 2019 March, I started becoming more active on LinkedIn. I mean, super active on LinkedIn. So within
Mhm.
2 months of my everyday sharing my post, this large company, cosmetic, one of the oldest cosmetic companies owner reached out to me and he said,
Mhm.
Divya, can you share your profile with us? This is what I'm
Mhm.
talking about, visibility.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, content marketing. This is what I'm talking about, credibility. And as a result, this brings that pull growth to you. You become a pull brand and you start
Mm.
getting desired by others. That, all
Yeah.
right, who is this gentleman or gentle lady who's contributing so much? Let's reach out to him. Let's figure out what he or she can contribute to us. How can he or she solve our problem? This is the impact you have to create. So if your audience is on YouTube, go YouTube. If your audience is on
Mm.
LinkedIn, Facebook, so accordingly you'll have to choose what resonates with you and your audience. On to you.
Wow. Our audience here is completely, falling in love with all your tips. Somebody's just given an example of one of us holding sitar and the other one holding veena. And the person is extremely feeling blessed. Okay, that's Vipul Panchmatia being very kind of you. I have a question for both of you. Does visibility bring about credibility? Can that be a deceptive? Can you throw some light on that, Divya, since Vipul is
All
asking us
right,
that?
interesting. Yeah, very meaningful question, Vipul. So, not necessarily all visibility brings that credibility to you. Because
Yeah.
just yesterday, I posted something on LinkedIn. It was about, Valentine Day. So, one of my regular readers of the post got back to me, Divya, this was not expected of you. Everything you should not consider that, you'll just make professional thing out of every occasion, every event, every festival. So some things are just to be kept
Festive.
intact, just like that, rather than changing their modes. So then I
Yeah.
slightly changed my post because I care for my audience. So
Um,
when visibility is coming to your mind, it should not be that for comfort me, for whatever reasons I am visible. That's the reason I've always been insisting, be visible for the right reasons, not
Right.
for the wrong reasons. So I think definitely if you are visible for the right reasons consistently, consistency is very important. It will build your credibility, it will.
Yeah. That's a very, very important point. And be visible for the just the right reasons. And consistency matters. I'll give a quick analogy here. You have these 5 plants in the balcony, and you step out every day and water 4 of these plants, but forget about the fifth one. What's going to happen to the fifth one? It's going to die out, right? It needs your time. It needs you to invest in it. You also need to nourish it, and everyday nourishment matters. I think this is one aspect that we tend to forget about. When we're trying to position ourselves in the open market and we're expecting it to become commercial for us. So, quite rightly pointed out, we need to be visible, but visible for all the right reasons, also be relevant and care for your clients. I've also read somewhere you mentioned a beautiful quote in one of your LinkedIn posts recently, where you spoke about customized profiles, just the way custom made solutions are done by us in L&D or training or HR. I think all of us are talking about custom made solutions. So I love the analogy and the reference of having customized profiles. Can you give us a little more insight? I'm really hungry to know more.
All right. So this is the seventh query I'm getting after this post. This is the power of being visible for the right reasons, because nobody had ever spoken about customizing your profile to your customized clients, to your customized services, to your customized products. So people wanted to know more about it. Now, let me tell you, Shikha, let's take an example that you are a happiness coach, right? And incidentally, I'm passing through a very depressive phase of my life. So, and then
Mm-hmm.
during the networking call, that's the best thing about LinkedIn. I like that you
Mm-hmm.
actually get to meet a lot of great people on LinkedIn, right? And you can
Yeah.
network with them. You can get to talk to them, unlike Facebook or other social media platforms. So, the
Mm-hmm.
deliberations are professional. So let's say we network with each other, and I know you may be happiness coach, but still I'm just talking to you just like that. And during the conversation, you get to know that all right, Divya is facing a lot of problem in her job, right? So then you say, all right,
Mm-hmm.
Divya, what I had done, I had also got some case study like you know. One of my friends had this, and it has to be authentic. So you just recall which are the clients that you have served. They may be
Yeah.
paid clients, they may be free clients. If you are giving coaching, consulting, or mentoring to someone, he or she can be regarded as your client, right? So you
Yeah.
can say that in that case study, what, that though that lady was about 20 years older than you, but when I actually diagnosed her problem, she was going through this kind of a specific thing. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where I told her two things initially. Rest of the things we can talk later, but two things immediate basis were: one, two. And gradually you have sown that seed in my mind. Maybe after one or two conversations we have, repeated conversation, I'll start thinking, I'll look for your kind of stuff. I'll look at your profiles, I'll look at
Yeah.
the kind of post that you're posting, and I will, third time I will write to you, Shika, I think we need to talk more on this.
Yeah.
And this is subtly, verbally, you have customized your profile according to me. How
Yeah.
about if you write a mail to me, and then I tell
Mm-hmm.
you that you may say, all right, Divya, I think just in case if you're interested, I can send you more information about how I handled such three more cases. And I would be, all right, just send me some case studies. And then you create a little thing around your profile wherein you, and include those three case studies which
Yeah.
are similar to me. And
Mm.
I can find the difference but still relate to those things. This is what is called
Understood.
customization of your profile according to the client problem. You just relate back whoever have you served in almost similar situation, and you share your profile or you share your further tips accordingly. Rather than marketing, did you market me? No, you just told me this was one of the case studies I got as a client, and then you even helped
Mm.
me with three set of more case studies, and subtly you created that impact, and I might end up buying your products.
Yeah, that's so true. In fact, we do pretty much the same thing, Divya, when we are sending our, profiles or resume, when we're applying for a job. We do tweak the resume, we do, modify certain terms. We want exactly what the, organization is looking for to be more visible in the format, so to say. I think it's the same treatment that I hear you talking about our profiles on social media platforms as well. And since I've become a little more active, I know exactly what that means and how it's working for us in terms of, creating all the three pillars of visibility, credibility, and desirability, like rightly pointed out every time by you.
Yeah,
एक
Shika, just one more thing,
Sure.
one more thing. So, let's say your target audience is CXO CEOs and you're creating your
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn profile. So, just create
Mm-hmm.
your profile according to those CEOs. You may have you may have done tons of other
In
things.
terms of
You
words,
may
you
have
mean?
done absolutely in terms of words, in terms of those keywords, in terms of those problems that you could solve, that CEOs might be looking forward some coach to solve for them, right? So
Yeah.
just be more aware about who your target audience is and create your profile according to them. Forget rest everything else that you have done. From my profile, if you see, you will find that I'm talking about leaders, I'm talking about businesses, I'm talking about core only on LinkedIn. Even if I'm writing my profile on Facebook, I'm talking only for those leaders. So have symmetry
True.
across the social media platforms, but be
Mhm.
highly focused on your target audience. Who are you helping today? Whose problem are you going to solve? On to you.
Yeah. So perhaps in our mind, we should always be questioning, who am I writing this for, right? So if I were to address a child, I would think twice and perhaps use terms that are more relatable. Beta chikut khaya. Nobody's telling us to do that, but we do that very spontaneously, don't we?
Yeah, yeah,
Same thing applies when you're talking to automatically our pitch changes, the choice of words change. It's the same formula that I see applying. I call this the communication mantra. We've done a lot of communication trainings around this, and it's also termed as the communication triad. Like, who are you talking to, what you're talking about, and why are you talking about whatever you're talking about. So as long as we're keeping these three fundamentals in mind, I think a lot of what we are pushing on the platform on social media could become more relevant for them and can get us more commercially viable, things working out. So that's what I would say.
true.
Thank you so much, So extremely inspiring. That's very, very useful. And I also find our women entrepreneurs, they would want to and would be desperately looking for some learnings from you. What is it that they can do differently in their life to, extrapolate more or to expedite their businesses today? Given your expertise in content, social media, and media marketing for that matter, what are some tips that you can share with our women entrepreneurs today?
So my only tip is get educated about it, enroll for a proper training program, and then you will be able to nail it. Just picking up clues from here and there, from people or from internet won't help. So for example, if you're looking forward to, content marketing, it's a great idea. You undertake an online course in content marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Learn properly this. If you're thinking that, my marketing is weak, then you think of marketing. Just undergo such skills like we had undergone classes, etc., a long time back in our schools and colleges. So it's a great idea in the evening time. This is what I love about Westerners. Even if they have done their
Mm.
PhD, even if they have reached a pinnacle of their career, they somehow enroll for some part-time courses, and they're
Yeah.
consistently learning out of that. And if these are certification programs, nothing like it, but ultimately they are consistently learning. So I think that's the
Mm.
only thing. If I tell you some tips and these may be relevant to you, not relevant, so only tip I can help you understand is just enroll for some little education, get yourself more learned or more trained.
Yeah, some of us I did. I think they realized the use of this during COVID times. All of us got signed up for some course or the other, and we were frantically going through a lot of webinars and sessions online during lockdown. So I think thankfully the need has sunk in most of us to reskill or upskill ourselves. But having said that, I do find there were a lot of women today struggle on financial independence. Even if they take the course of being an entrepreneur, we're not well educated how to handle our finances. What is it to you, and any insights around that, if you can share with our women? Because I think that's fundamentally what holds us back, because we don't financially, what do you say, we're not as well equipped. We don't take that kind of interest in getting into it full swing, and to also manage it from a lot of perspectives. So some insights as per your observation, if you can share.
Hmm. So you see, when you start your entrepreneurial journey, I would tell it to everyone. I mean, I've experienced myself also. You need lots of cash. You need lots of funds. You need lot of money to actually, to actually run your business. Now you may be saying,
Mhm.
no, 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 Divya, I don't agree with you. We don't need much money actually, so we can create money. Why do you need lot of money? Is because business is full of ups and downs, like jobs are full of ups and downs. So
True.
when you are financially stable, you will be able to manage those ups and downs more effectively. Let's face this fact: out of, let's say, 100% women, 1 or 2% women excel during tough times. And as you know, that
Mm.
startup closure rate, irrespective of women or men, is
True.
absolutely 90% and above within next
Mm.
5 years. So let's consider, for example, if you have second source of income, which may be coming from preferably a passive source of income, then you will be able to sail through all those ups and downs. You will have much more security that, all right, all right, all right, there's a backup for me. At least my home expenses, my kids expenses, my own expenses, whatever, I'm able to take care of.
Mhm.
And then you'll be able to take calculated, wise, rightly figured out strategic risk for your business.
True.
Otherwise, if you have cash crunch, this kills your soul, this kills your spirit of doing business, this kills
Yeah.
your confidence. So let's say if for 3 months you haven't been able to give salaries to your employees, or you haven't been able to earn something, your own family will start, telling you, do you think is it the right decision and all that. So I
Yeah.
remember when I was 26, nobody had done business in my family, and I took that first initiative. So I spoke to my father, I spoke to my brother, and I said, घर में खाना तो खिला दोगे ना, rest I will take care of, right? So, and then initially 3 months I had no business. all those clients who had said yes to business, they backed down.
Back down.
And I was
Oh
like,
boy.
my God, what do I do now? From being an international, highly paid consultant to I was nowhere. Then I spoke to those clients again and I got to know that they have forgotten. So I had to remind them that you had promised me. So is it a great idea to get me the business, this and that? So I'm telling
Mhm.
you, I've gone through all those stages and everyone passes through those stages. So
Yeah.
first and foremost thing is business is one side. But even before
Mm.
getting into the business, you should have a passive source of income. How do we get that passive source of income? Let's say whenever you are getting some pocket money or whenever you're getting earning some money, so consider that what if government takes 30% extra tax from me? Let's say if you fall in
Mm.
33% tax category, tomorrow government says, all right, another 30% is levied on you. What will you do? You'll end up paying no
Yeah.
63% tax. So you just consider whatever money, wherever, whichever source I'm getting from, come what may, I will just invest it for my passive income sources. Come what may, even if it is 100 rupees, 33
Mm.
rupees will go into some investment. So this is what is more important for struggling entrepreneurs. I would highly suggest, I'm not discourage you, I would highly suggest it's not a bad idea to rethink of a job. When you are in
Mm.
job, then you have that strong strategy in place that all right, for next 3 years I'll do this job, and whatever money comes to me through job, 33% I'm going to save for my passive income. Maybe
Wow.
5 years. So I have a large number of people coming to me who say, Divya, enough. We have had salaries of 5 crore, 4 crore per annum, and now we are so fucked up with corporate life, we want to leave. And you know what? I tell them, do you still have money which can take care of your business for next 3 years? If you don't
Yeah.
have that 3 years cash with you, I would not still suggest. So that's what I mean. That's the hardcore reality.
इट्स अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट यू मेड अबाउट पैसिव इनकम. मैंने देखा है दिव्या अपनी लाइफ में, और ऐसे दो लोग थे जो बहुत बड़े, मतलब दे वर सीनियर पीपल एंड एक्सपर्ट्स अपनी फील्ड में. दे डिड दिस एंड दे डिलिजेंटली फॉलोड दैट regime of 2 3 years of steadiness, money, and then ventured out on their own. They had their list of clients ready, they had the corpus and passive income ready, and they knew exactly how they would take the business forward. So they had created that foundation, brilliantly. Like you rightly said, I love the term you've used, the passive income word. I think it's important to, when you want to be an entrepreneur, do it in a very strategic way and well plan the entire steps for yourself, and take time to have enough corpus that becomes like a cushion for you, perhaps. So extremely relevant point. I think all of us should take that tip away, and because I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, I know exactly what that means to me. एक छोटा सा कहावत है, सफर में मुश्किलें आए तो जरूरत और बढ़ती है. सफर में मुश्किलें आए तो जरूरत और बढ़ती है. कोई जब रास्ता रोके तो हिम्मत और बढ़ती है. तो जिस तरह की मुश्किलों का सामना आपने किया है दिव्या, और द वे यू ओवरकम इट एवरी टाइम, एंड यू न्यू एग्जैक्टली व्हाट टू डू डिस्पाइट पीपल नॉट बैकिंग you or not being there, suddenly you were all by yourself, and you ensured that you took it head on, and there we can see the kind of inspiration you are to several people. That's amazing in itself. I also feel, Divya, that our work canvas over this entire COVID era has transformed. There are a lot of new skills that have come into play, a lot of things that we've just
Hmm.
started talking about. Thankfully, organizations have started to focus on employee health, well-being as well. What are few future skills that you feel are important and critical for all of us to inculcate
Hmm.
in us, whether we're professionals or whichever field we're pursuing? What are future skills and your advice to us on that?
So I have a different perspective on future skills. I'm not going to talk about what is needed in future. You can just search Google and you'll be able to figure out 10 top skills that everyone needs or 10 top efficiencies or abilities all entrepreneurs need. What I want to focus is what are those things that you must not do in future in order to excel.
Wow,
So
wonderful.
what you should not do in future is just sit idle thinking that all right, all the learning I've done, सब कुछ तो समझ में आ गया, then there's nothing left for me to learn. So that thing should never come. once an
Yeah.
astrologer told me that तुम तो बूढ़े होते तक भी कुछ कुछ पढ़ती रहोगी, your patri says. And I said, bang on, this is what I wanted. Because
Yeah.
the moment when you start learning something, you again become that kid. All right, I
Yeah.
have to study this, I have to
Yeah.
actually excel in this, right? So that youth always should remain within you, and that can come only when you're consistently learning something new. All those top entrepreneurs you figure out, all those billionaires, you will be able to see that they somehow spare some time for their passionate learnings.
Wow.
They are
Yeah.
the ones who will never stop learning even if they are 80 years old. Warren Buffett reads 500 books a year. What is he doing? He is consistently learning.
Yeah.
80% of his time goes into learning. So what you should not do in future to excel
If I'm not
is you should not stop. Yeah.
sorry, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Vipul's comment again. Can I have that again on the screen, please? Vipul says something about what you should not do in future. One thing is not to do is stop learning. He's very happy about your comment. And all of them are loving all the questions. And he's asking another question about when you say understand customer requirement and customize one's profile, sometimes a customer does not want all the talent. Is it not a risk sometimes for our brand to go a couple of steps of the requirement? Would it sometimes be sensible not taking up that particular opportunity? What do you suggest, Divya? Another question from Vipul Panchmatia. Thank
Yeah.
you, Vipul, for your
Yeah.
question.
So, Vipul, what you're saying is you're saying out of your experience, because I know we have had conversations a couple of times also, and I agree with you. Perfectly fine. That all right. It's
Yeah.
always a great idea to trim your profile. It's always a great idea not to be all the time, telling customer that exactly what you are going through. I've also, helped clients to sail through. So it's okay. I mean, you go by your intuitive capabilities. So your intuition will let you know whether to go ahead with this strategy or that strategy. And it's not just women who are intuitive, sometimes men are even far more intuitive than their counterparts. So it all depends. If your intuition is saying no, stay away, so then stay away. Yeah.
Yeah. Anjali says stagnancy comes when you think you know it all.
Yeah. Thank you, Anjali.
So thank you for sharing that comment. Our viewers are loving it, and I think you're making it short and crisp and something that can stick to our memory as we move forward. And relevant insights on what not to do, really, especially when we are talking about the future skills. I did come across some, Forbes study on this about 5 key things that our women should remember, and how they need to invest on science, technology, engineering, and maths areas, because that STEM career is going to grow up manifold in the near future. So upskilling, relearning, giving it back, everything will help you to fix that learning in whichever way possible and grow perhaps. Any other tips that you want to share before we jump into our rapid
Yeah.
fire round, Divya?
Absolutely. So I strongly feel for every one of us, especially the women. And whenever I think of women, I think of their financial securities. I think of their financial stability. I think of their financial freedom before even their own thought process freedom. So
Yeah.
before even their, relationship freedom or whatever kind of freedom they can think of A, B, C, X, Y, Z. So financial freedom is one such thing which will put you into a safer zone, into a better evolved human being zone. So one thing that you should not do in future is never postpone your financial literacy study. So you are responsible. No one is going to help you become financially literate, as a result financially free. You have to think wisely and you have to start doing it. And most of us have this guilt. If I take away that amount for myself and I don't keep it for my family, or if I don't spare it for others, what will happen to my mamta kind of thing. So I propose that, once you grow to be old, obviously you will need that stability, and that is also a kid, that financial kid, that mutual fund kid will actually help you be more stable. So I'm not saying that don't do anything for your family, anything for your friends, anything for your employees, anything for other people. All I'm trying to say is keep that corpus in place that will help you become eventually completely free, financially free. and maybe financially well off. So that's what.
Oh,
That's
very
the
important point.
priority.
Yeah, that
Don't
awareness
postpone
and
your
that
yeah, learning. Yeah, yeah.
that
Continue.
is true. And since you mentioned financial literacy, I would strongly endorse that term literacy because I think that's the thing that we tend to forget. We try to master it, or we try to go into stock market, or how to do everything else because we're in that horde of trying to prove ourselves we're equal to men. That's not what is important. What's critical to sustain yourself and to keep your head high and live in a life of dignity is that you know the basics of money handling, and your attitude towards money should be just right. Because at the end of the day, money is just a tool. And being an entrepreneur, I think our women need to realize how to utilize that tool efficiently and make their businesses and other clients' businesses flourish, like you rightly do. So lots to learn from you on that. I'd also want to, go into a rapid fire mode with you now, Divya, because those are some things that I'm sure our viewers would love to. Before we open some more questions from our audience, what is that one word that describes you well, Divya? If you were to describe yourself in
All
one
right.
word.
I didn't prepare my rapid fire. So I think that one word, if someone has to define about me, is divine. So rest
Wow.
everything aside, I think divinity is what is the top priority for me. Some ethics, some value system. I mean, I'm not a completely bought person for all that value system or ethics in the world, but there are certain principles which I would love to preserve. These are ethical principles, so that divinity, those qualities of divine should always remain within. So maybe you can say one word, Divya, so divine.
So Divine Divya we'll remember for sure. Your
Yeah,
favorite movie
divine.
dialogue.
छोटे छोटे शहरों में बड़ी बड़ी बातें होती रहती हैं, एंड वी हैव ऑल गॉन थ्रू दोज बड़ी बड़ी बातें. सो इफ वी recall this dialogue, so it will become a lot more easier for us to digest those complex situation, complex people around us.
Yeah. And then you're supposed to do Shah Rukh Khan action, no? Lala Lala karke. What was the last time that you did something for the first time?
I think I'm a believer that I keep doing a lot of new things every now and then. So I just went with one of my common friends, and
Mhm.
we were in some area wherein that construction was going on. So we wanted to
Uh-huh.
see some plot there. So that construction was going on, and I told him, "Look, hold my hand tight." And he was like, "Oh, what's happening to her?" And I said, "चलो ठीक है, ऊपर से नीचे ना एकदम से चलते जैसे छोटे बच्चे 3-4 साल के चलते थे." And he was like in all his professional attire and all that. That was one thing I remember I had, after a long time I had done. So that is the recent thing I can recall, that,
That's so
something new,
beautiful.
something new.
I
That
can
that
I can
inner
feel
child
that.
came out. Yeah.
मैं वही बोलने जाती हूँ, वो अंदर के बच्चे को जिंदा रखना मुझे लगता है बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
और वही एक चीज है that it kind of pushes you to do better things in life. मैंने किसी से सुना था कि आपको we all learn how to act in public, but the child inside you should always stay alive. Whether you're masking yourself or you're behaving yourself in public, never let that child die. So another learning from you, Divya. If you had a superpower, which superpower would you like to have?
I think my psychic abilities, my intuitive abilities, I would love to increase them truly. Like, ability to see through, ability to, help others by seeing through. So, those
Wow.
psychic abilities, I would love to see many, many fold. So, that's the superpower I would love to have.
Something like being a
Tathastu.
mentalist.
Yeah,
Mentalist. Mind से mind connect करके.
maybe.
मैं
Yeah.
जानती हूँ तुम क्या सोच रहे हो types.
वो तो पहले से पता होता है, बट यू नो एट मेगा लेवल,
Yeah.
what things are about to come. So it's funny, but something that's sort of like Nostradamus, so that I could help the world
Uh-huh.
know, all right, this is likely to come, good and bad as well. So this is what,
Yeah, makes
those
me remind of
superpowers of Nostradamus.
yeah, it reminds me of Noah's Ark if you've seen that movie. When Noah knew exactly what's going to happen and he started to guide everyone to build the ark, It's a phenomenal movie, and it actually talks about exactly what you just mentioned. And since we have Valentine's Day tomorrow, what's your message on that? How do you see Valentine's Day?
Yeah, so for me, Valentine has always been a major chunk of self love, because when you have self love, when you are satisfied with yourself, when you're happy about yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit, your ideas, your perspectives in life, your ethics, your values, then you'll be able to attract right people, and you'll be able to spread that love, affection and compassion to others. But if
Yeah.
you don't love yourself, you all the time are into negative self talk, criticizing yourself, are always in guilt, are not healed enough, then you may not have that power of healing love. So there's no point, looking for that Valentine outside. If we can celebrate Valentine within us tomorrow, then it would also yield great effect outside, that multiplier, that rippling effect.
Wow, such a beautiful insight that is. So look at your Valentine's inside and then outside. So it goes from inside out. Wow. What's your life mantra? You can share that with our viewers.
So I think faith and grace, these are the two keywords in my life. So be thankful for all the grace that is there on you, and have
Mhm.
faith that, yeah, things will turn up fine if they are not fine currently, and things will turn up better if they are fine now, and if things will turn up the best if they are super fine now.
Wonderful. And I also saw Anjali saying that should be my self-resolution, for 2020. I will focus on self-love beyond anything else.
Wow.
So well said, Anjali. Thank you for saying that. Uh, we've got a lot of nuggets today from you, Divya. Some of them are highly inspiring and very, very relevant. Something as simple as having faith and grace in life. Also keeping self-love as our priority, like you said about Valentine's just now, keeping ourselves, ready for the future by upskilling and relearning every now and then, and being financially literate. I think that's another very empowering thought that today. It's critical that we realize how to use content marketing as a strategy, and also, use the power of social media by customizing profile. Vipul is very happy, and he's wishing us good luck, and he's thanking you for all your knowledge sharing today. Thank you, Vipul, for being active and sharing all your thoughts and questions promptly. I think we've had a fruitful day today with you, Divya, and all our audience was super engaged. I could see all the comments and compliments coming in, and reaffirmations the way you said. I think we need and inculcate that as our daily habit. So a lot of wisdom pearls we've gained in this interaction. I would want to also thank our audience for being so prompt in sharing their questions or any doubts. I think that makes any session extremely wonderful and meaningful for the speaker as well. So thank you, Divya, for sharing these insights and wonderful thoughts with us. Towards the end, I also want to share this quick, excerpt from Khalil Gibran. I was really touched when I read this. A river the risk of entering the ocean, because only then the fear will disappear. Because that's where the river will realize it's not about disappearing into the ocean, it's actually about becoming one yourself. So it's highly invigorating for all the women to realize the power that they hold, and the strength that we get from unison when one woman supports the other, which is the theme of Women with Wings today. We're going to be live again on the next Saturday with yet another story, an intriguing story of a woman into a homemaker, turned into a Mrs. Delhi, and then back to corporate world. Miss Sushmita Gulbani will be here with us, and ex-CEO Dalvia Healthcare. So we urge all our viewers to tune in again on the next Saturday around the same time and hear this extremely powerful story. At Women with Wings, every woman counts. Thank you. Thank you so much, Divya. You're such a sport. It's been a pleasure interacting with you. And thank you to all our wonderful viewers today for all the comments and supportive and encouraging statements and all the questions and participation that they came up with. Thank you, everyone. This is Shikha Verma signing off. You have a great day. Bye bye.